All right, all right. Oh, this light is so bright. There we go. Oh, I couldn't see. Oh, just got my notification. So hope everyone got their notifications for the reminder about going live tonight. I'm excited about this live because I like shooting out gems. So I'll just wait for people to come in. Hey. So tonight, I just want to just share some information about home ownership and just some details that I wish was available to me and my husband and I when we were on our search looking for a home. We didn't prepare when we purchased our home. We didn't. We didn't have any savings. It was literally like a last minute thing. So as we prepare to purchase our second home and we have more insight on things that are needed when you're going into purchasing your home, the difference between the different loans out there that you can get when you're purchasing your home, unless you're out there and you're purchasing with straight cash. I'm here to give you some details and some things that may help you in your home purchasing journey, because it's very important that if you invest in one thing, that you invest in some type of property. And owning a home is a great property to invest in because it's a real life an investment. Okay, so I'll wait. I'll start at 7:05, and I always keep my live videos for people to go back and look on, especially this one. So I'll keep this one so just in case if people are looking for information. I hope everyone is having a great Friday. I'm a little tipsy. I had some red wine that I've never heard of, and I'm not a fan of red wine, but the red wine was so sweet, and literally in the wine glass it was probably filled up to like right here, and I'm tipsy. I don't know how in the heck it happened, but I'm tipsy. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm not like super tipsy, but I'm ready to spill this information, so it's gonna come out real good because I'm feeling real good. So yeah, the weekend, school about to start. I'm trying to get like turned up one good time before school starts on Monday to prepare for my daughter and son to go to school with their virtual classes. Do you have kids? Are they in virtual school? Because I know Shay, you're in Nevada. Tipsy is Tipsy is fun. Listen, and I'm not a wine drinker because I just don't like the taste. Like I'll drink like a Seagram, and that's not really like a wine. But I drink a Seagram, which is no alcohol in there. But she was like, "Shay, you want to try this red wine?" And I'm like, oh, "Okay, I'll try." So she fits me. I'm like, "Just fits me a little bit because I'm not a fan of red wine." But it was so sweet, and from like within the first 5 minutes, I'm like, "Oh, sis, I'm I'm feeling it. I'm feeling good." So I'm feeling good. I was like, "Dang, I gotta do a live at at 7 o'clock." I'm like, "What? Why did I choose to go live on Fridays?" Thank you. Yes, this is my favorite part of the house. I got everyone who comes in this house when we were doing the showings. They're like, "Oh, does the chair stay?" No, I just got my chair last month. My chair goes with me. It listen, Melinda, it didn't even sneak up on me. It just came in like full blast. It was like poof. I'm like, "Oh Lord, how did this happen?" Oh man. All right, it's 7:05. I don't care. I always say I'm a messenger, and whoever hears the message, they're supposed to hear the message. So I'm gonna start sharing my information. So there's some points. I'm not gonna go over a lot because it is a lot of information to consume. And Melinda, you are just to ask both of you, Melinda and Shay, are you guys homeowners? Do you own your homes? And it's probably lagging, but yeah, I'll just start going over it. So the first thing that I want to go over, I'm going to be talking about 4 points tonight. It's going to be my home journey, okay, purchasing my first home, and the information about buying the home. The second thing about maybe how much you need. Okay, perfect. How much you will need in order to get your first home. New construction versus used homes, and then also closing. That's my daughter in the background. Hey, boo. Okay, baby. All right, so I'll talk about us buying our first home. So when my husband and I, when we were looking for a home, it was back in 2018. I was living in paid for. Yes, I'm speaking that into existence. I want my home to be paid for within the next 10 years. Okay. Once I move into this new home at the end of the year, I'm ready for that thing to be paid off. Yes. It's exciting for the first home. And I'm trying to give tips for those who are looking to purchase a new home, especially young Black people, because I feel like we don't have the insight and the information that helps us to know that things are out there and available for our use to purchase our first home. So my husband and I, we were living in my great grandmother's house, and my great grandmother, my grandma, they both had homes that were completely paid off. Okay, so we were living in her home. And at the time, I felt like it's still, it's not my home. And she had passed away. My grandma passed away, and I wasn't on the deed or anything, so I felt like it wasn't mine. And my husband and I at the time were just like, you know what, we need to get something that's ours. Now, this had to be like March of 2018. We started saying, oh, we want a house. At that time, we didn't start saving. We didn't have true, very true, Melinda. It's a lot of people that don't get that information. We didn't have money saved. We didn't have the jobs that we have now. I didn't even get promoted to the previous position that I have. So together combined, we were probably making about $80,000. So so then I want to say around maybe August. Okay, August is when we got really serious about purchasing a home. So we're like, you know what, let's just go looking around and see what's out there. So we had a realtor, and the realtor, he was taking us to different areas. He was asking us what we could afford. So we were looking for homes maybe like in the 200,000s. So he was taking us to a lot of townhomes that were older townhomes, maybe like in the early 2000s, built around this area in Miami Homestead. So he's taking us to all these different locations. We were looking for the homes, and he told us, you know what, to put down, you guys would need about $20,000 for these homes. So remember, we weren't planning on buying a home, so we had just started saving. $20,000 was a lot of money because it was scaring us, and we knew we needed to move out quick from the home that we were staying in. So we started to save, and then all of a sudden, I was at church one Sunday, and I was on Facebook, and there's this page called New Construction Homes, and it's this realtor, and she goes to all the new construction sites within Miami from north to south, and she helps connect you to the new construction sites, and she tells you, they give money to put down on a home, that there's many things available for you to purchase in a home where you won't have to put a lump sum of money down. So I told my husband, you know what, let's just go look at these new construction places. And I had never known about that. I never knew that they give you money towards closing. So we end up finding the home that we're in, which was going for $265. Now it's a 4-3, and we weren't looking for a 4. We were kind of looking for a 3 because we knew our budget. So we started speaking to the people at the new construction site, and it was D.R. Horton, and they told us, we'll give you $17,000 towards your closing costs. So right there, closing costs is key. Make sure that when you're looking for a home, and it may be your first home, that you're looking for places that can give you closing costs. So they say they're going to give us $17,000 towards closing. Plus, we were new time buyers. So here in Florida, in Miami-Dade County, they have something called the First Time Home Buyers Program. Okay, the First Time Home Buyers Program is ran through the MD program here in Miami, which is the Economic Advocacy Trust Program, and they help people who fall into a certain category of how much they make at the time get money towards their home. And all they have to do is just go to a class, and the class is for 8 hours. They sit in the class where they give you different information about purchasing a home, about your credit score, how the closing works, what the closing costs consist of, you know, the title agency and who you pay. It was a lot of good information, but it's just sitting in the class for 8 hours, all right? But the great part about it is once you sit in the class for the 8 hours, you're either going to qualify for the $4,750 towards your closing costs or the $7,250 towards closing costs, depending on the income that you may combine with your spouse or if it's you by yourself. So it's free money, okay? Now, there are certain contingencies when getting that money. You have to stay in the house. I believe it's either 7 or 10 years. You can't refinance on the house, and if you can't rent the house out, and if you do, you have to pay that money back. So that's the situation that my husband and I are in, because we're moving out before the 10 years. So that means that we have to pay that $4,750 back to Miami-Dade County. But if it's your first home, a lot of people won't move out, okay? So it's a risk that you're taking because you have to pay it back if you do one of the 3 contingencies. But if you don't, it's money that you can keep. If you stay in the house for 7 to 10 years, you won't have to pay that money back. Yeah, it's crazy. Right. So that's what happened with this home. So I always tell people, hey, especially our friends, or when people see us posting about homes, they always say, you know, how did you do that? I'm really looking for a home. And I'm telling people, you can get a home. Don't let people scare you thinking that you cannot get a home. If you can rent and you can pay $17.50 for rent a month, you can get a home, okay? And they have homes that will fit your budget, okay? So that's our story with my husband and I. Now, purchasing a home. So you want to make sure that you have a good amount of money in your savings, right? So my suggestion is, I don't know what type of home you're looking for, but if you're a first time home buyer, I would say you need to at least have between $15,000 and $20,000 in your savings account. Number one. Number two, make sure that the job that you're at, you're consistent with your work, okay, and your work at your job, that you're not hopping from job to job, because they're going to look and make sure that you have 2 years of work experience. They always say, hey, have you been at your job for 2 years? So a lot of people hop from job to job, and then they don't have that stability when they go looking for a home to say, oh, how long have you been there? And then when they say, oh, I've only been there for 6 months. In my previous job, I was there for 3 months. There's no way that a bank is going to approve you for a loan, because they don't want to take that risk, right? So you need to make sure that the income that you have coming in is legit and it's coming from a job that you've been there for, a while. My third thing to say is take your time and look around. Now, I don't know how it is in other places. I've looked in Orlando and it's the same there, but here there are a lot of new builders out there, right? And maybe you guys are familiar with some of them, because D.R. Horton and Lennar, these are builders who build all over the United States. They build in Texas and Alabama. They're all over the place. So these new builders want you to buy their home, okay? And they want to give you incentives so you can purchase your home. And when my husband and I, when we decided to leave from this home, it was literally out the blue. We weren't planning on leaving. We were actually planning on moving to another state, Georgia. I had submitted applications, to look for a job in Georgia. And I had prayed about it, and I said, Lord, I'm applying to jobs. I'm qualified. And if I don't hear anything back, then that's not the move that we're supposed to make. So just so happened, it didn't happen. And something happened with, somebody reaching out to us about selling this home. And then we're like, you know what, let's go look around and see what's out there, because they're building everywhere. So right behind me, they have new homes that's being built, and the starting price, I think, is like $270, and then they go up to $380. But we end up moving to another neighborhood where the home started at $380. Now, I'm going to tell you some things when you're looking for a home. Now, whether you're by yourself or whether you're with a spouse, you need to make sure that your debt to income ratio, okay, very, very important. They're going to use that term. And if you've never heard it before, you're going to be like, what in the hell? Your debt to income ratio needs to be low. All right. They don't want to see high debt to income ratio. So it doesn't matter how much you make. Let's say, I'm making $6,000 a month, right? By myself, I'm making $6,000 a month, but I have 3 car payments. Okay. I have student loans. I have 4 maxed out credit cards, right? And I'm making minimum payments. And I'm telling them, but I'm making all these payments and I still have money left over. That's not what they're looking at. They want to make sure that you have a great amount of money that's coming in, that's not being touched and worked towards anything, because the banks they want to make sure before they approve you to get their money that they're going to be protected and making sure that you're going to be able to pay that money on time. So if you're looking for a home, I would say don't go out there and make major purchases. Okay. I had just got my Lexus for my birthday. If I would have known that we were looking for a home, that we were going to be home shopping again, I wouldn't have gone out there and got my car, because I didn't need it at the time. It was something, it was quarantine. It was my birthday. I was just like, oh, let's upgrade my car. But I didn't know I was going to purchase a home. Thank God it didn't affect our debt to income ratio. But if you're out there buying a home for the first time, you need to make sure that you do not, okay? You do not want to go out there and make major purchases, big purchases, large purchases that are going to alert the bank to say, no, they will not approve you for that loan, okay? Now, the 2 loans that you can do when you are, going through the bank to finance your home, you can do FHA or you can do conventional. Now, FHA is what we used the first time and what we're using the second time, because the first time it was our first home, and FHA only requires you to put down 3.5% for your house, okay? So if our first house was $265, we would have to come up with 3.5%, okay, to give to them when we close. Now, with conventional loans, usually you're putting down about 5%, okay, or more for that loan. All right. Now, if you put down, if you put down less, I believe it's less than 20% with a conventional loan, you're still going to get charged PMI, okay? And PMI is an insurance that the bank does, okay, to make sure that you're going to be paying them their money. Now, with FHA, you already get PMI attached to your loan amount. So every month, when you're paying your mortgage, if you're escrow, and escrow is the money that's used for your taxes, so you won't have to pay your taxes in November like in a lump sum. Like our taxes are $5,000. We're not giving them a $5,000 check. That money is coming out monthly. So on top of your escrow, you're also going to be paying a PMI insurance. So that money is going to come out as well. That's going to be paid to the bank just to make sure that they're covered, just in case if you're unable to make your payments. So what I would tell people, if you're looking for a home and you're able to save more money where you can put down 20% or more and go conventional, you won't have to pay that PMI insurance, okay, which is great. It's less money. Now, if you do, you do. We're paying it. It's fine. It's a part of our mortgage, okay? Now, you need to make sure you get a bang for your buck. I'll use myself as an example. We have this home here, and this home is a beautiful home. It's a great starter home. It's a town home. But the thing about this townhome in this community, we have 2 HOAs. Now, HOAs are fees they're community fees that will cover. Ours covers our landscaping in the front. It also covers our cable. It covers the security guard in the front gate. It covers the security that drives around, okay? We have 2 HOA fees. One is $169 and the other one is $50. So on top of paying our mortgage, we also have the 2 HOA fees, which brings our mortgage, I'm not going to tell y'all what our mortgage is, but it brings our mortgage pretty high. So when we found this new home, we got a bigger home. It's a single family home, a bigger lot, an extra bedroom, and we're going to be paying the same amount on our mortgage that we're paying here. So it only made sense. So I would say don't rush. My husband and I, we rushed into purchasing this home. Take your time, shop around. The people want to give. We went to the people at Lennar and they say they would pay all of our closing costs. Okay. And it sounded good, but I just didn't like they didn't have a nice backyard. Then we went to another place and they say they would give us $11,000 towards our closing costs. That's the one that we went with. It's less money and we still have to come out of our pocket more, but we didn't rush because I knew that the house, you know, that they say they were going to pay the whole closing costs, it wasn't a house that we were interested in. So you want to make sure that you do not rush. Take your time looking for a house, okay? The houses are out there. They're going to continue building houses. I don't know where your location is, but here in Miami, there's a lot of land, and they're continuing to build. So it's very important that you don't rush and you just take your time, okay? Another thing that I want to talk about is when you are. Hold on, where my notes at, y'all? Because this is very important. Okay, guys. So the next thing that I want to talk about is used homes and new construction. All right. So Lennar is a great builder. They are. And all the houses now, Lennar and D.R. Horton, they're smart homes. So they come smart home equipped. They come with because we paid for our intercom and our door knob where you type in the passcode to come in the house. We paid extra for all that stuff because that stuff wasn't in this home. But the home that we're getting and the homes behind us, they come smart house equipped already. So that's already there, and that's a good incentive as well because you're not paying that extra money. Like I think we spent about $2,000. We got a nest and all that good stuff. So all that stuff comes with it. So new construction versus older homes. Now, the reason why and some people don't, the reason why I like new construction home is because you're going to come out of your pocket with less money. Okay, depending on the builder, but 90% of the builders here in Miami, they offer some type of money for you to purchase their home. Now, if you're going and you're purchasing a home from someone, you know, directly that they're selling their home, it's an older home that they had, there's not going to be too many incentives. Maybe the realtor will offer you something, but they're not going to offer you as much as a new builder location because they have the funding to do so, because they want to sell those homes. They don't want those homes sitting there because as soon as they sell them, they're going to go to the next land and then they're going to start building. Okay. So especially if you're a first-time home buyer, I tell, you know, a lot of my friends who are looking to purchase homes to make sure that they go to the different new construction sites and they ask them, okay, how much are you giving towards closing? What does your house offer? Because if you're going, like I've seen a lot of homes that are really, really nice that I like, you know, if we're paying $395 for our home, and there's another $395 home that someone's selling that has a pool, that has the 5 bedrooms, but you have a pool and then you have a lot of land. That's more money coming out of my pocket because they're not going to offer me anything. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I'm staying in Miami. And the prices, you see, it's completely different because when we were looking in Atlanta, okay, I can get the home that we're getting in December, I can get a better home than that for $265 in Georgia. You get what I'm saying? And we're spending $395. My $395 in Georgia is going to get me a mansion on a hill. It's going to get me a 4-car garage, 5-car garage, a kitchen that will probably fit this entire living room plus my kitchen inside. You get what I'm saying? So it depends on you. Are you willing to move? Are you willing to change locations? Like I just love Miami so much, and my source and my people are here. My parents, our support system, they're here. So I just can't. You know, I thought about moving to Georgia, but it would really take a lot for me to move because our source is down here. So it's very, hey poops. So it's very hard, you know, for us to get up and then, you know, to put ourselves somewhere else. It would be very difficult. So yes, the prices here in Miami, and on Melinda's live yesterday, she was talking about the housing market and the prices are skyrocketing even where she is. So the prices are very, very expensive in Miami. I don't think the prices are going to go any low anytime soon. Now, the interest rates, that's another thing I wanted to discuss. They are very low right now, okay? We got quoted for a 2.6 interest rate. Interest rates are very important because the higher the interest rate, the more money, right? So 2.6, you really want to stay in that 2 area. This home that we purchased, our interest rate was a 4.6. So it was very, very, very high. And interest rates have to do with your credit as well. So you want to make sure that you have good credit. It's so beautiful. I love Georgia. I fell in love with Loganville, Georgia. That's where we're planning on moving. My daughter's godfather is there. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. It's very family oriented. The schools are nice. Like, I was sold, y'all. I was ready to leave, pack my stuff, and go. But it just, I couldn't find a job there. It just wasn't there. And plus during quarantine, it's very difficult to find a job. Yeah, no, I couldn't find a job there. But another thing that you want to go over is credit. Okay. Now, credit is very, 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 very important when you are purchasing a home. You want to make sure that you have. My daughter got this phone on. Can you turn it down, baby, please? Thank you so much. Like, all the way down. Credit is very important. You need to make sure either A, that your credit is good if you're purchasing a home by yourself, or B, if you're purchasing a home with your spouse. Please remember, when they are looking at your credit, if I have a score of a 775 and my spouse has a score of a 605, guess what credit score they're going to use? They're going to use that 605 credit score because it's always the lowest. Why? I don't know. They don't want to see you win. They don't want you to be great, but they're going to use that low credit score. So you need to make sure that you have a nice credit score. When they say credit goes a long way, credit goes a long way. And I had to figure that out on my own because a couple of years ago, I had absolutely no credit. And I stress the importance of that. I tell my kids about credit. It is very, very, very important. When they say credit or money, credit is more important than your cash. Because I need an 800 score. You feel me? That's what I'm working on. I'm working on getting my score from a 750 to 800. I need that jump. And then I'm working on my husband's credit as well to get it to where it needs to be, because it's very important, because they're going to look at that, especially when you're purchasing a home. They're going to look at your expenses. They're going to look at your credit. They're also going to look at your student loans. Your student loans are very important. You need to make sure. A lot of people say, well, my student loans are deferred and I'm not paying anything. They don't want to see that. They want to see you making payments on your student loans, especially if you're buying a home that's over your purchasing limit. And I'll go over that. An FHA loan, right? If you're going FHA, and don't quote me because I don't know the exact number. FHA loans covers, I believe it's 300 in Florida. I believe it's $378,500. Okay, that's the key number. $378,500. After that number, whatever is left has to come out of your pocket. Okay? So if my home was $395 and FHA only covers $378, I need to take away $395 from $378, and I'm going to have to pay that money out of pocket. Okay? So when you don't go over that, this home was $265. FHA covered all of that. We didn't have to come out of pocket extra because that was under that $378,500 limit. I didn't even know about that until we started looking for our new home, because we're looking for some homes that was, or I loved a home that was like $468. And they were saying, all right, if you're going to get the $468, you want to go conventional and you need to come out of pocket. And I'm like, $40,000, like, ooh, and we want to move this year. Ain't no way we're doing $40,000, in 5 months. Impossible. 20, yes. 40, no, we cannot do $40,000. We could maybe, next year we would have planned, yes, but we didn't plan on moving. All right. So you want to make sure that you stay in that number. Very easy. Okay. I'm just thinking about Miami. Outside of Miami, Texas, Georgia, places like that. If you go on those new construction sites, Lennar and D.R. Horton, in those areas, the homes are very cheap, and it's under that $378,000 where you won't have to come out of pocket with your FHA loan. Okay. Now, conventional it'll cover. I believe conventional taps out at about $400 and something. No, maybe like $500 and something $1,000. So you won't have to come out an extra. But remember, with conventional loans, you're still going to have to come out of pocket more because you have to put down 5% instead of your 3.5%. Okay. Very, very important. I don't think I'm gonna be on for the whole 8 o'clock. The last thing I want to talk about is saving. Okay. I was a person that did not save. I had to learn to save, on my own. A lot of discipline. It took a lot of discipline because I was not used to saving. This year, I can tell you, my husband and I, we got better saving. All right. And the thing is, and Melinda was talking about it yesterday in her live, you have to have a goal. And when you have that goal, you want to achieve that goal. So you're going to want to do more and more in order to achieve that goal. So you're going to be willing to save and put in extra money because of that goal. So my husband and I, we had a goal that we wanted to take money and invest it in a property, right? That was our goal. So what we did is we printed out a sheet of paper that had our big savings goal, and it had a pyramid on how much we wanted to save each and every month to get to that $20,000 mark. And every time we saved that amount of money, we would, color in that highlighted area of how much we were saving. And we would get excited marking off those boxes, of areas of what we saved. That made us happy. That got us lit. That got us excited, and that made us want to save money more. So I always tell people, if you have a goal and something that you're looking forward to, it's going to come easy for you to save. If you don't have a goal, you're going to continue to spend that money. I didn't have a goal a couple of months ago in January. We didn't plan on saving for anything. So when I was getting paid and I had all that extra money, I was buying bags, shoes, clothes, unnecessary stuff. You get what I'm saying? And when I think about it now, how easy it was for us to save the $20,000, and more. We'll have more. But to save so much money before December, it's like, Shay, you could have always been doing that. Think about how much money you guys would have had before if you were doing this before. You spend money on things that you don't need. And it was true. I was spending money on things I didn't need. My husband was spending things on that he didn't need, and the money was being wasted. And now we have that mindset of, let's not be wasteful. Let's take our money and then put it towards good use, because it's all about having residual income. Okay, we breaking generational curses. We're going to make sure that our kids don't have to worry. Yes, they can work, but we're going to make sure that they're covered, and they're going to have something to look forward to that we can pass down to them, and then generations to generations. That's how it was supposed to be. That's how my great grandmother, with her home, she left it for us. It ended up being sold, but that's just because if you don't have that mindset to say, hey, I got this property and it can make me money, you won't be able to do it. And I thank God that my husband and I, we have that level of maturity to say, if we ever get a property and we can rent that thing out, we can have residual income coming in, then invest in another property, then invest in another property. You get what I'm saying? And then you have all that money coming in at the same time, where you're not, you just banking from all areas. And that's how a lot of people, okay, who are not of our skin complexion, that's how they do it. But they're taught to do that, and we're not taught to do that. It's not embedded in our minds to do that. No one gives us that information to go out there and do that. We have to learn that on our own. So I'm here, okay, just to share information with you, and to share information for anyone who's looking for the information on buying a home, and they want to know, certain details about buying a home or just saving money. I'm learning, and I like to share the information that I learn with others. Okay, so I'm cutting this live short because that's the information that I have for you guys. I don't want to overwhelm anyone with the information, but I just want you to know that it's okay and it can be done. Don't let anyone tell you that you can never be a homeowner, that nothing will ever be yours. And the thing about homes is they build equity. Okay, what we purchased this home for, and even though we were paying off, we sold this home for more money. It was done by God, because it wasn't even the price that we asked for. God is good. It wasn't even the price that we asked for. But the people wanted this house so bad that they decided to give us $10,000 more of the price that we asked for. Okay, And we've only been here not even 2 years. 2 years to be this year, November. So property is very, very, very important. I want to tell it to the youth. I want them to know if I would have known this going to college, I went to college for free. Okay. And I got money back from scholarships. And I'm not talking about no little pennies. I'm talking about $4,000 each semester. Okay. For the 4 years and the 2 semesters, 2, 4, 6, 8, I was getting back about $4,000 from scholarships and academic and first generational scholarships and all that stuff. And that money could have been going towards my first home. And when I see young people now in their 20s, okay, 18, 19, purchasing their first property, it makes me happy. And it gives me so much joy because I want to instill that in my children to know, save, invest early. Okay, so you can have your money flowing in different directions early. So if you don't want to work a 9 to 5, you don't gotta work no 9 to 5. You home and your money just coming in. That's how we gonna do it. So I'm doing this, and my husband, we're doing this to make sure that we can give this information to anyone who needs it, especially embedded in our kids' minds that they can do this too, and they can do it early. It brings me, God is good. He really is. But it brings me great joy sharing this information because I never had this information handed to me. So if you have any questions, I'm always here to help. I'm always doing my research. Every day I'm looking at different stuff about real estate and the different properties in the area and how people sell it and how the prices fluctuate and all that good stuff, just so I'm able to retain the information and give it to people. It really did, Shayla. I think if I would have known, I would have been in a different place. But God always uses us to go through things in order to learn, in order to be encouraged, and in order to look back on it and say, "Oh Lord, you brought me from this to here. That's what you did, and I didn't know it." That's what He do, and I'm appreciative. I'm thankful, because I've been through it. And it was a learning process, but I wouldn't change any of it because now I'm filled with so much joy and happiness looking back from where I came from, point A, and I'm here at point Z, and I worked my butt off. Okay, it was Jesus, I, and my husband. That was it. We didn't have no helping hand. We have a support system, but it wasn't a helping hand that was there guiding us, saying, don't do this, do your credit, don't buy this, don't. We had to do that on our own, and we made some mistakes. We did some things that we shouldn't have done. We hopped into stuff too quick, but it was a learning process. And where I'm at 30, I'm grateful and I am thankful. Grateful and thankful. God is good, and He always working it out in your favor. And you have to understand that you're at this place right now, but that's not the place that you're gonna be in your future. Your future is greater. Your ladder is greater. All right. Before I start preaching, let me get off. I love you, boo. And I'm always here to help. All my friends gotta win. It's winning season. I ain't taking nothing else. If you don't want to win, and I tell my friends as a friend, if you don't want to win, it ain't gonna work because I need us all to win, sis. I need us all to eat. We all gotta eat and we all gotta win. It ain't just me solo dolo. It's all us. We all gotta do this together and we all gonna do big teams. Okay. A lot of people talk about 2020, but this year has truly been an eye-opener and a blessing in disguise. So I'm grateful. I'm thankful that you guys joined me on my live tonight. I hope the information that I shared with you was helpful, that you can give it to someone. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch me blabber about home ownership. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Have a great night.